Welcome back to Crusade with Me, the show where we stop pointing fingers, take the reins of our lives, and ride straight into the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it might be. This episode is raw, real, and important. Today we're pulling back the curtain on a long-running soap opera we call our lives and asking one piercing question. Who's been the one constant character in every single episode? That's right. It's us. Inspired by the words of James Hollis, we're going to talk about blame, responsibility, self-awareness. What happens when we finally stop waiting for someone else to change the plot and we start writing our own damn story? This is going to be an hour of truth, energy, and transformation. So grab a cup of something, settle in, and let's get into it. Hi, my queen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, baby?
I am wonderful. I just letting the music roll for a minute, letting you go.
The inner drummer in me loves it.
I know. It's actually very good.
This is on transformation because you were drinking a glass of water.
It's actually liquid IV.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's water. No matter what you got to put in it.
You're right. Normally, the only water I consume is either over coffee beans,
right,
or distilled in a process, and yes, or it's a solid chunk in a glass of distilled something. Yes. Although the other night I had a glass neat, which I always like.
I know, yeah.
Well, it was good for my gums.
Yeah. You and your buddy.
Yes. Yeah. No, let's start by hearing that quote by James Hollis again, all right? And he wrote, "After a lifetime of blaming others, it is exceedingly difficult for us to finally acknowledge that the only person who has consistently been in all the scenes of that long-running soap opera we call our life is us. As a necessary corollary, that we bear some large responsibility for how the drama is turning out." That's boom, right? Kind of right there between the eyes. So this isn't just philosophy. It's not what I want this to be about. I want this to be more about liberation. Because once we stop blaming everyone else, we stop giving them power. And once we accept that we've been in every single scene of our story, we can start taking the lead role and even rewriting the script. You tracking?
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'm waiting for more.
Oh, I'm sorry. So blaming others is one of the easiest things we do. Mm-hmm. It's natural. It's automatic. And a lot of times we deceive ourselves we make it feel like justice. You know, I wouldn't be like this if my parents had been different. Mm-hmm. Or my boss just doesn't get me. Or my ex ruined me. No one ever supports me.
It's the blame game.
Always. And maybe all of that is true to a point.
Mm-hmm.
to a point. But if you've lived long enough, you start to notice a pattern. The characters change, but the plot stays the same. The real question isn't, who hurt me? It's, why do I keep casting similar characters in similar roles? Why do we repeat patterns? That's the question. Why do we sabotage progress? Why do we stay stuck? Because it's easier to feel powerless than to admit we're in charge. But the cost of blame is high. It keeps us small. It keeps us spinning. And worst of all, it delays growth. So let's ride this metaphor for a minute. Imagine your life as a long-running soap opera. The days of our lives as the world turns.
One life to live.
One life to live. Sands through the... Oh, no, that was Days of Our Lives.
Days of Our Lives, yeah.
I was going to say, okay. So imagine your life as a running soap opera. It's had plot twist, heartbreak, betrayal, high drama, unexpected victories, some bad haircuts, I don't know, and maybe a few awkward love triangles. But you're not just in the cast. You're the lead and the writer. So why do we so often give that pen away? Here's what we often do. Let trauma write the next episode. Let fear direct the scene. Let insecurity choose the co-star. Let old wounds choose the next job, partner, or self-image. When we don't take authorship, someone or something else always will. The moment we say, hold up, I've been in every scene of this thing, that's when power comes rushing back in. Because we're no longer reacting. We're choosing. I can think of a couple times in life that I've lived through that. And after being beat up and after being train wreck after train wreck, finally choosing to write my own damn story instead of letting the story just be written.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was witness to that, yeah.
Yes, you have been. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just told, our friends, we just talked about that on the last episode, our friends being here, and on our little chat Friday night, I told, because I don't know if I've ever told her this. I thought I had, but maybe it just needed to be repeated.
Sure.
That one of my sayings, I have several sayings that our kids are very well aware of, but one of them is, don't be a victim, be victorious. And I told our friend, you are the reason why that saying exists in my world and why I repeated it to our children often, because she is one of those people that could have played the victim role in life. She had
Correct.
every reason to play the role. Instead, she chose to be victorious. And one could argue that her body is now attacking itself because of some
Yes.
of the traumas that she's been through in her life.
Yes.
But she, she's is a wonderful example of someone that chose to be victorious and not a victim. And so I think that fits into your theme here.
I agree.
That
Well-
she rewrote her part.
Exactly. And then using that, she reaches out to others as well,
Right. Yeah.
which is, yeah.
Yeah. Again.
And the power comes back to her.
Yeah. Well, she's
For the
definitely
victory.
not seeking any kind of.
No. I'm talking about internally.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
so self-awareness, right? Self-awareness is a huge portion of this. And maybe that's the first battle of the crusade.
Well, that and choice.
Right. Well, just taking responsibility is not the same as blaming yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's a difference there. And I want to be clear about this. So responsibility says, I can't control everything that happens to me, but I am 100% responsible for what I do next.
Yeah.
Do you understand that? That's
Yeah.
a difference.
Right.
That's a difference. So that's not guilt. That's strength. That's presence. You don't need to carry shame for your past. But you do need to see how you've helped shape the direction of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Self-awareness is the sword you carry into this battle. Without it, you're just swinging at shadows. So take a breath, look back, not with judgment, but with curiosity. Where did the same story play out over and over again? What are the roles you keep assigning yourself? Victim, rescuer, saboteur, martyr, ghost. And more importantly, who do you want to be now? Let's talk about practicality of reflection on these things and then taking back the script. Here's 5 journal-style questions or prompts that will help you reclaim authorship over your story. Prompt number 1. What scenes in your life keep repeating, even with different people? We've lived it, done it, right? You know this.
Mm-hmm.
The plot this is like Hallmark Channel, right? They have one script and 900 movies. We've all done it. We've all done it. What version of you shows up when things go wrong? What do you believe about yourself that may no longer be true? And where have you handed the pen to others out of fear, guilt, or even habit? And finally, what would your story look like if you stopped reacting and started creating? Now, these aren't easy questions, but they're powerful. And here's the truth. You don't need to have all the answers right now. but asking the right questions. That's how new chapters begin. So how do we shift without shame? When you start owning your part in your story, you might feel a wave of regret. That's okay. But remember, awareness isn't punishment. It's freedom. So let's say you see it now. You were defensive, impulsive, addicted to drama, whatever it was. Good. That means the lights are finally on. Wasn't it Clint Black who was saying, lights are on, nobody's
Nice
home? Yeah, okay. So now you can change your posture. You can quit the ego. You can stop overcorrecting and start flowing with life instead of against it. The way of strength isn't about control, it's about clarity. When you see clearly, you stop blaming. When you stop blaming, you start changing. And when you start changing, you begin to shape the drama into a purpose-driven, grounded life. My queen, any of this
Yeah. Unfortunately.
connecting dots or making sense, or am I out in left field on this?
No. I'm thinking about, when you, at times when you see yourself overreacting to something, to a situation, and you think back and you think, why was my reaction to that so extreme?
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think that's when you see yourself a little clearer, that's when you can really kind of dig in and do the work and be like, really be honest with yourself. Why?
That's a hard nut to crack sometimes.
It
To
is.
be honest with ourselves.
Right.
That is not easy.
But usually there's a reason why, and that's when you can kind of
Yes,
see
yes.
yourself a little bit more genuinely.
And when you find and you kind of pinpoint that reason, it's not to blame.
No.
It's for the clarity that I'm talking about.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So that you can change it. So that you can change the next sentence or the next chapter or the next,
Right. I'm thinking of something very specific, and I think that's growth in itself. I mean, when you can really see it, the whys, the
Correct.
why.
Correct.
Why did I react that way? Why did I behave that way?
Mm-hmm.
But if you just do it and you don't want to know why, then there's not going to be any growth.
Well, I can tell you, I can share, and I think I've shared this on a previous episode about, and I've kind of been in management pretty much my entire career of my life. And I was under this delusion for years that I had to be the strong, almost a very old term. I remember this term when I hadn't been in supervision long, the straw boss. Do you know who the straw boss was? And this goes back to the late 1800s. Did you know who they picked out to be the straw boss on a group of workers? The biggest, strongest guy in the group. He was the straw boss.
And why is it called a straw boss?
Well, they were normally baling hay or doing,
Okay.
But he was the straw boss. And he got things done from his crew basically by intimidation.
Mm.
If you don't do what I say, I'll hit you. And I will hurt you. Fast forward a century, and then I'm in management, in supervision. We didn't call it straw boss, but there was certainly some level of this mentality that you had to be intimidating. You had to be obnoxious almost. You had to be, rough. You had to be mean. That was a very antiquated mindset. And it took me a long time to figure out that I could do that effectively for a little while, but guess what? It wasn't sustainable. And it doesn't produce very good results because only good as long as you're standing there over somebody. If I have to stand there over somebody, I probably need to just do it myself and I wouldn't need that person and we could save some money, right? But there was that mindset. So some of our mindsets, some of our plot twists are culturally inbred into us. It's what we know. It's what we believe that people expect. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I'm thinking that kind of happened kind of the generationally in parenting,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I mean, you kind of got that with your parents, and then we kind of had that tiptoe line, or that's what we knew, so we kind of started out that way, and then we saw, hey, this really isn't kind of working. We kind of need to kind of change this a little bit and kind of be a little bit more nurturing and a little softer handed, and now it's kind of gone a little bit
too far.
maybe.
Yeah. We just had an episode on that too. You're right.
But you know what I'm saying? Because so I kind of feel that a little bit, like, yeah. So
that's really what I'm trying to say here.
No,
all right, and we just need to look inwardly. And I'm saying this for myself, but I mean I'm saying this because I have felt this a lot for some reason in the last month. And a lot of people interactions, and that's the story of my life at work. And like, crap. People gotta stand up for themselves a little bit. And you can stand up for yourself and be respectful. You can control the things that you can control. And it's just... Not everything in life is a gotcha. Right?
Well,
but some people live that, and I begin to believe they love it, which is sad, which is really sad.
I still feel like this, honey. I still feel like in this world, there's such an aversion to communicating and having conversations with people.
I would agree. Yeah, you're right.
And if people could just get to that place where let's communicate without this fear that every form of communication is going to lead to a fight.
Well, here, now you're going to go into a deeper subject, and this is, we have to grow up and mature and understand that every time we communicate and I hear something that I don't agree with, that I can take it and not be offended by it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's the new, one of my favorite readings was Dumas, right? The Three Musketeers. I love Dumas, but I thought I wanted to be a musketeer. I wanted to defend my honor and so forth. So have a duel over somebody bumping into me. That's the oh my God. We are living out the Three Musketeers in this world today. Oh, because he used the wrong pronoun, or he said this, or he said, I've got to defend my honor to the death.
Yeah.
You spelled
a word wrong.
Yes.
Go back to school and learn how to spell. I'm like,
right.
I see that.
Take a chill pill.
Time.
Right. Yeah. Take a chill pill. I mean, look, God knew how awesome he created me. So he didn't bless me with great spelling. Otherwise.
That, or you just got fat thumbs.
Well, on the yes, texting, I absolutely have fat thumbs. But does that make sense? I mean, we are.
It does.
Why? I guess, and I understand everyone's different, but why do people, I guess it's sad.
It's just easier to sit back and be offended than to take the time and have a conversation with somebody and try to resolve a difference or express your feelings in a healthy way.
You're right. You're exactly right. And that's one.
So let me just be mad.
That's one portion. But I'm talking about, I know that you know people, and I feel sad for them. They want to live as the victim in their soap opera. They can't see that the only common denominator in every scene, and it can be from place to place, all sorts of different actors, the patterns are always the same, and they love it. They love it, or at least
they secretly love it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. They love being the victim. They love being the victim, and there's nothing they can do. Nothing they can do. Mm-hmm. You know people. I know people.
Yeah.
And I think that's incredibly sad.
It is.
They just give their presence and their future to whatever, to whatever whim, whatever, whoever.
Well, they're held captive. And they're really holding themselves captive. But their whole life is frozen to this, to whatever the new dilemma is.
Hey, wake up! Knock, knock.
Mm-hmm. You can set yourself free.
You are in control a little bit more than you're ever giving it. Look, I mean, it's all about choices. Life is about choices. Mm-hmm. And we have a lot more choices than we ever claim that we do. Mm-hmm. I chose to put on what I'm wearing today. Did you?
Yep.
Okay. Although I've had people claim that you dress me in the mornings. I'm like, no, she does not. Matter of fact, I pick my clothes up myself the night before.
And you're a very predictable kind of guy. I think that's kind of what they're saying, because you wear a certain color on one day and a certain
I have
color
my Monday clothes and my Tuesday. Where do
clothes.
You think my itty bitty pretty one gets her?
Her days of the week panties.
Her days of the week panty concept.
And we don't break that.
So the way forward, being the author, not the audience. The only thing I can think of, just because I think it's sad. Stop sitting in the audience waiting for a plot twist. You stand up, you walk onto the stage, say, this is my story, I'm here, I'm awake, I'm ready. You stop obsessing over what others did. Start focusing on how you show up next. You remember that you've been in every scene so far. And that's exactly what qualifies you to write a better one tomorrow. I want to say that again because this is important. You remember that you have been in every scene so far. And that's exactly what qualifies you to write a better one tomorrow. It doesn't matter where your story has been. What matters is what happens next. So take the pen. Choose your voice. Set your intention. And write like your life depends on it. Because it does. Mm-hmm. My queen, do you have any closing thoughts?
Maybe not a thought, but I have a question.
Yes.
So if you are someone who is living with someone who's at the center of this, writing their own story, in not a positive way, do you think that you would maybe set boundaries with that person.
You have to. You have to. Because if you don't set boundaries with them,
They're going to drag you down.
well, not only are they going to drag you down, but because that happens a lot.
Yeah.
That does happen a lot. But they will also,
Make your life miserable.
and you will ultimately be to blame. At
Right.
some point,
Oh, yeah.
at some point, you are going to be their abuser or their enslaver or you're the control freak, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've handed it all to you.
Right. To fix it or...
Correct. And that's,
Well, because...
a lot of it is
Okay,
because
right.
they want to abstain from responsibility because I don't even understand that.
Right.
But you know the people. I know the people.
Yeah.
Well, it's your fault. You know,
Right.
to put it bluntly, I've talked to my team many times, and I rarely, matter of fact, I don't know that I've ever done it in decades, chastise somebody for making a wrong or bad decision.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when a lot of times we need to make quick decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, did you learn from it? Let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's okay. I
Right.
get it. You made a decision. Now, if you don't, I'll probably get ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what you get paid to do. You make decisions. But there are some people that are so adverse to making a decision, they would rather be the martyr, the victim, the ghost, or whatever in the story than pick up the pen and write
Mm-hmm.
and control. Now, I don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize it. I see it. It concerns me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're talking about it today. That's what this episode's all about. So if you know someone who's this way, share this episode with them. Hopefully we will have said something
Mm-hmm.
that they can connect with, that they can understand that it's
Right.
you're not the victim in your life. You are the sole character that's in every scene.
Right.
So if there's all these repeating patterns doing the same thing, maybe you need to look introspectively at you and quit pointing your finger at everyone else. And maybe you need to have a whole new cast of people in your life. That could be. All right, I want to be clear. That could be. But that's only going to come from you. And you do that by setting boundaries, right? By who you let into your life and who you don't.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's my question. I mean, I've also had the experience, and I guess I could say this, you know, when my mom was sick with cancer and a stroke and all that, she was pretty much incapable of making a decision for herself whatsoever.
Well, it was not.
And so
that,
I think,
time out.
there's
That
a
was
health- I
that
was
was
saying-
prior to she couldn't make a decision prior to that.
Okay, it was worse.
It was.
And so I know that there are some situations where people become frozen with fear, and it's impossible for them to make decisions, and you know they need other people to intervene for them. But that's
Those should be extremely rare
temporary.
instances.
And
yes,
temporary.
Right.
and yeah, that doesn't seem to be temporary for her.
No.
But
This is the same woman that I recall. There was a brief time, remember, we sold a house and we were moving to Arkansas, so temporarily we lived with them.
yeah,
And she had some laminate flooring and samples.
yeah.
She says, "Which one do you think, Dave, I should get?" And I never got up from the chair. I pointed and said, "That one." I never even looked at either one. I have no idea. That's the one she picked
That's the one that she picked.
because I definitively said, this is the one."
Mm-hmm.
And every time somebody would rave about it, "Oh, this is beautiful flooring." "Oh, yeah, Dave picked it out." I didn't even look at the box. I could care less. But I know her.
Uh-huh.
And she would never have made that determination.
Uh-uh.
But she was happy the fact that I would,
Mm-hmm.
which is sad.
Mm-hmm.
Which is sad because I would hope that you would want something for yourself enough that you can decide.
Mm-hmm.
And now there have been some rare occasions with her that I've seen that breakthrough, and she's done that a few times.
Mm-hmm.
A few times. And maybe the flip side of that coin is she felt like for some reason it was important, but deep down she knew whether it's this or whether it's that, it's really not that important.
Maybe.
That just dawned on me.
I don't know.
So let's bring it back to James Hollis one more time. After a lifetime of blaming others, the only person consistently in all the scenes is us. And that, my friend, is not a burden. It's a gift. It's permission. It's your moment. So you've got this. You always have. Until next time, I'm Dave, and this has been Crusade with Me, the place where we own our own story, write new chapters, and walk forward with calm power.